Okay, guys, this is part 3 of Who the Heck Did I Just Marry? Before you watch this, go watch part 2. This is a story about Risa, who ended up marrying a pathological liar. When I made episode 2, all her videos was at 2 mil. They're all at 3 mil now. So you know what to do. Get your tea and get your snacks. Cause you already know this is about to be good. If you want to watch it yourself, you can go here. Bro, she's at 2.1 million. What? On episode 2, she was at 1.4. Oh my God, bro. As I said, you can watch it here. The rest of y'all, you and me. Let's go. Now, guys, where we left off, Risa takes us back to late April, early May, and she says Ted's ex-wife moved to Georgia with the kids and all. Now, at this point, I guess Risa didn't make much of a fuss about this because his ex-wife never made it seem like she wanted him back. They're only being cordial for the kids. Ted only gets a text from her like every now and then. It's not often. Personally, after everything we've heard so far, I'd be fucking tripping right now. But okay. Now, quick recap, because we're back on the main storyline in August. She got pregnant in May, lost the baby in June, she got the surgery. In July, she was still looking for houses and being promised cars. We're now in August. Ted finally gets her a car, which surprised the heck out of me. It wasn't a BMW, he got her a Nissan. By this point, Risa was tired, salty because she didn't get the BMW, tired of looking at houses and getting her hopes up. We go into fall of October. They find another house. Risa loves it. It's $700K. Again, Ted puts in his all-cash offer. Scott, the real estate agent, calls back and says, yo, the sellers love your offer. Just send the proof of funds. Now, Ted tells the sellers, I'm not showing proof of funds until you accept the offer. The seller's like, what? I'm not accepting an offer till you show proof of funds. So this turns to a standoff. Risa asked other people what their opinion was on this. Some people agreed with Ted, some people agreed with the seller. Personally, to me, I don't know why it's so difficult to just show proof of funds. The seller gives them 2 days to figure it out. They send over the Chase document for $750K. The seller's like, what? No, not the loan. You said all cash. Ted's like, I'm not showing nothing. Because y'all might try to create a bidding war. The real estate agent was like, oh my God. And apologizes to Ted because he's like, I should have had your approval letter and proof of funds before all this. My team says we now can't do work till you show proof of funds. Reese is like, Ted, show them the funds. Ted says, this is unprofessional. This ain't our fault. This is your fault for not doing your job right. Reese is like, why is this so hard when you already agreed to pay the full asking price? The realtor's like, what the hell? Scott's like, look, I'm gonna go try. The seller's like, bro, hell no. Look, we got someone else that's ready to show proof of funds. We going to them. They don't get the house. Scott's like, ugh. Look, I'm done with y'all. We've already looked at 25 houses and we can't seem to get one. I don't know what's going on, but I don't want nothing to do with this. Until you're ready to show proof, go find another agent. Risa looks at Ted and she's like, no. Don't you say another word. I don't want to hear nothing about no cars, houses. I just want to get through the holiday. We can talk about it next year. Ted's like, okay. This got Risa making another audio diary. She's like, why does it always seem like something goes wrong? She has a serious talk with herself and begins to reconsider the relationship. Am I going to stay in this relationship or am I going to leave? I can't believe I stayed this long. I'm starting to see these red flags. And I hung in there because, one, I didn't want to be alone. And I dragged myself through it because I wanted to be married. But what if he's not lying? Does he not trust me? Does he not want to get married? What is it? I've seen the letter of his promotion where he's getting $200,000 annually. I've seen him talk to his family. He's been paying all the bills, which is like the best thing ever. But in exchange, he's effing me up mentally. And I'm not talking to nobody about it because I believe what happens at home should stay at home. Which, by the way, guys, I get that a little bit because other people could never really understand the true dynamics of your relationship. But sometimes, bro, you gonna need that outside feedback because these narcissistic, gaslighting, pathological liars is out here, y'all. And if you never encountered one, yeah, it would be nice sometimes to talk to somebody. Now, Risa and Ted did not talk about cars or houses for the next 2 months. Around the time of Thanksgiving, Ted want to have a talk. He's like, look, I'm sorry. I know I effed up. I know things aren't looking good. Risa looking at him like, Ted's like, I really do want us to get married. I want us to have a house. I'll show you whatever I need to put you at ease. What do you need to know that I love you? Risa's like, okay, show me your bank accounts. He showed his checking and his Chase savings account. He didn't show the offshore account or the US bank. But she said, yes, there was money in there. Now, I don't know what that means or how much money that's in there. Does that actually mean he was able to cut a check of like $700,000 for the house? I don't know. She said, listen, we buy a house, it's going through the Chase. And I ain't looking at no more houses till next year. Ted's like, okay. Now we're in December. They have another serious convo. It was about marriage and religion. They didn't like the fact that they're living with each other and they almost had a baby. And they're not married. Some of their family members didn't like it either. So they made the decision to finally get married. And remember, it was still COVID. They fill out a marriage license in Georgia where they both had to put their social security number. Risa watched that man put his on there, sent the application in, and did a background check on him immediately. There was no results. She did a criminal check. Again, there was no results. She was like, I either got his social wrong or something is going on here. They made their appointment at the court and got married. Risa didn't tell anybody. Because last time they set it up, they had to cancel it. She let her family know later and they was like, whoa, they was surprised. Her aunt, on the other hand, was like, oh, you did? Okay. You should have invited me. They got married on January 5th. After it, they went to get some wings. Then the next day she went to work. Which is crazy to me because there ain't no way I'm going to get married and then we're going to freaking go to Popeyes. We at least got to go to Roof Chris. We got to do something romantic, bro. Ain't no way. Now, by January 31st, Risa says this is when she knew she was in trouble. But she ain't know how deep. She said the things that married couples do completely stopped. And usually the man complains about this. But it was her. She didn't want to get R-rated, but I'm pretty sure she means he wasn't trying to hit it no more. Or as often. She files paperwork to change her last name. And she was like, I made this bed, so I'm just going to lay in it. I didn't work this hard to get married just to get a divorce. Risa makes an interlude video. Because people were like, why are you airing out all your business? She said it's because this situation was very traumatic for her. And there are women out here that need to hear this story so they don't do the same mistakes that she did. Now Risa's like, guys, I'm going to just give you guys a name for this man. Which, oh my God, finally, we're on episode 3, about time. She says she calls him Legion. Which at first I'm like, Legion sounds crazy. Just sounds like a bunch of like anarchist group, whatever, I don't know. So everybody say goodbye, Ted, because we're not using that no more. Now remember, after the wedding, they had 2 weeks of peace. It was great. He would still go to work at 6:15. Risa was still Georgia State Patrol. Ted's been to her job, even met some of her coworkers. But she said after those 2 weeks, Ted started getting strange. He would look at what she's wearing to work and be like, why are you dressed like that? Which it wasn't like this. I'm pretty sure it was something like a work outfit. Or he'd be like, you get off at 3:30, right? So you should be here by 5. Like questions he would never ask before. Then it got to a point he would call her every day at work. And every time he heard a man in the background, he'd get weird and be like, why does it always seem like there's a man around you? What's up with that? Which, by the way, guys, if your significant other starts like randomly accusing you of like cheating or doing something, it can typically be a sign that they're doing something. So now I'm looking at Legion like a suspect. I mean, we all did, but I really am now. Risa didn't pay no mind. She's like, man, you tripping. Maybe he just having some insecurities. I'm thinking like he experienced something with his ex-wife, so he has trust issues now. In January, he's like, baby, I'm ready to look for a house. And just like all of us, y'all, Risa was like,
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
we don't. She was like, I ain't going nowhere. You find a house, and if you find something that me and you both like, let me know. Otherwise, I don't want to hear it. So now we're at the end of January, and Legion starts working with his realtor friend named Scott. That supposedly Risa saw Legion talk to over 50 to 100 times. But just so y'all know, this is a different Scott. It's not the same Scott from earlier who said he don't want to work with him no more. I don't know how Legion knows so many Scotts. Either he got that many or he just not good at lying. Okay, I don't know. So Legion would go to work in the morning and then after work go look at houses with Scott. And then whenever he was at houses, sometimes he would call Risa. He typically came home at 3:30, but after a while, he started coming at 4, 5, 6:30, 7 p.m. Risa noticed this, but she was just so emotionally exhausted. She was like, man, whatever. Now remember, they got married on the 4th. By the end of January, Risa was like, something is going on. And I might be in too deep by now. She tells Legion, hey, my lease ends in August. So if you can't figure this out, I'm leaving with or without you. I don't care what you do. but I'm out. I'm gonna find my own crib. Now, the reason Risa wanted to move is because she had this neighbor, and Legion was trying to paint this narrative that he was beefing with her. Supposedly, she played loud music. She would try to flirt with him sometimes. And he said she kept having different men come over. Which that last one is just like, what? Why do you care? Now, guys, this is where episode 3 gets interesting. Because it only goes downhill from here. February rolls by. So Valentine's Day is coming up, and her birthday, which ends up being the next day on the 15th. Risa says Legion did well. He went all out. On that weekend, Legion gives Risa some money to get her nails done. She pulls off in his car and heads to the shop. Then, while she's getting her nails done, she gets a text from Legion. Legion says, "Hey, someone was outside the house looking for you." Risa texts back like, "Who?" Legion's like, "I think it was the guy that you used to date." Now remember, in episode 1, they sat in the car after the Cheesecake Factory and got to know each other. And Risa mentioned that she dated one of her coworkers. Risa texts back like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I'm telling you, someone came looking for you. I told him you're not here." Risa starts panicking because she's like, who would just come to my house unannounced? Because before Legion, she worked the last shift of Amazon and wasn't talking to anyone for like a year. So who the hell was it? Risa comes home and says, "What happened?" Now, Legion was very calm. He says a guy pulled up in a black Charger. He walks outside and says, "Hey, can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm looking for Risa." Legion was like, "Well, she's not here." The guy drives off. Legion was like, "I'm pretty sure that was your ex. The one you dated for 2 years." Risa says, "You think he pulled up uninvited after 2 years after not being together?" He said, "Whoever it was, they felt too comfortable pulling up." Risa's like, "Who could this be?" And this news just had her freaking out. Now, Legion says, "From the way that you're acting about this news, you're kind of suspect." Risa's like, "What? What are you talking about?" He said, "I told you I handled it and you still over here freaking out. You acting weird. He obviously didn't know you moved on and you're married. But now he knows." Risa's like, "He's never done pop-ups, so that doesn't make any sense. That would be a violation." She's like, "Okay, what did he look like?" And guys, he gave the most basic answers. Legion was like, "Why does it matter what he looked like?" Risa's like, "Just tell me." He was like, he was shorter than me and he had brown skin." At this point, Risa smelled the BS. She's like, "I'm not playing this game." She says, "Did he wear a hat?" Legion says no. Risa starts thinking of like all the people it could have been, which is like 4 people, and one of them being the maintenance man. She asked him all types of questions to cross people out the list. And there was only one left. The ex she dated for 2 years. Legion was like, "I'm sure it was the ex you dated for 2 years." Risa was like, "That doesn't make any sense." She says, "And it wasn't a police car." He's like, "Nah." One thing Legion didn't know, her ex would never buy a black Dodge Charger because he had to always drive one at work. Now there's 2 things that Legion didn't know. Risa has a security system on the door, not Ring that has a camera, but something a little different. When any of the doors in her house open, she gets a notification on her phone. It told her the door opened at 1 p.m. and closed at 1 p.m., which is less than 60 seconds. Legion says he also watched him drive away, which he would have to be outside to do that. So his story and getting it all done in 60 seconds was kind of sus. The second thing that Legion didn't know, the neighbor had a Ring security camera that showed their driveway and Risa's driveway, and clearly. The next day, Risa texts her neighbor and says, "Yo, were you home yesterday?" The neighbor was like, "Nah, what's up?" She said, "Listen, can you check your camera and see if a car pulled up to my house?" She says, "Sure." A couple hours later, she says, "Hey, just checked, I didn't see anything." Risa's like, "Not even a person walking up?" The neighbor's like, "Nope, nothing." Risa's like, "Nah, I've done this before." Because if E equals Legion BS squared, he made it up. So now this is the middle of February. Legion is asleep, but Risa is still thinking about this. She's like, "Nobody came to this house. Why would he make that up?" He wanted to see my reaction. I've been gaslit. Now, after the Black Charger incident, a few weeks later, it's like the beginning of March, they go get burgers. Legion was like, "Did I ever show you where my grandma was buried?" Because remember, she passed from COVID. Risa was like, no, you haven't." So he takes her to the cemetery hall, and he walks around and around till he comes to this hill. He's like, "This is it. This is the tombstone. Risa looks at the tombstone, and it say John and Jane Doe. He was like, yeah, they buried her with my grandpa. Risa's like, oh, okay. And when it comes to death, Risa just believes you because like she don't play about that. So now they're headed back home. Legion's like, hey, you see that building over there? That one. That NCR building? Risa's like, yeah. He says our company just bought the building behind it. We're gonna have operations over here. Risa was like, why would you buy a condiment company in the middle of downtown Atlanta? Legion says no, only for business, not production. So I'm guessing like office space. Risa's like, okay. He says that's where I keep the company car. Risa was like, what? The BMW? She said, take me to your office. Legion's like, I can. So he gets off on the next exit. He makes a phone call, y'all. He tells Risa he's calling Willie, the head of security. Yeah, Willie, it's Legion. Is the building open? Yeah, I want to take my wife in to see the office. Uh-huh. Oh, you're not? Well, is Mr. Justin working? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, my yells are so funny. So is there anyone that can get me in the building? Cause yeah, I got my ID, but we're on the weekend lock, you know? Okay. Yeah, okay. All right, let me know. He hang up. Y'all see how I did that? This is like the epitome of Legion's phone calls. So now, guys, at this point, I'm telling you right now, I will never again believe that someone is on the other side of that phone call. He tells Risa, yeah, the people that I need aren't working right now. The building is locked. My badge won't get us through the front door. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them. But nobody calls back, y'all. So they turn around and just head home. Risa's like, shocker. That's kind of weird when you're the VP. Now, the company car was a charcoal gray BMW. Till this day, she's never seen the car. He only shown her pictures. After the NCR situation, he tells her he leaves home, drives to Midtown, switches cars, and then heads over to Duluth. So he switches cars on the way back. He's never brought the car home. And this is after she was promised the BMW X5. So Risa was still salty about this. She's like, I don't care if it was a company car. He would often call her from the car and sometimes be like, I'm kind of tired. I might just drive the BMW home, which would get Risa excited because she want to drive the car. He did this multiple times because he enjoyed getting her hopes up. But eventually he stopped doing that because he knows Risa was tired of hearing about it. Like, you ain't showing the car, stop talking about it. At this point, after the headstone situation, the NCR building, and the office not being open, she was starting to get numb to this. Because there was always some BS. Somewhere around late February, early March, there was clearly tension from her side. Now, one thing about Risa, everybody that knows her knows that she always wanted to go to London and she wants to explore Paris. She gets home from work and there's a folder on the table with a bow. She's like, Legion, what is this? He's like, go ahead, open it. It's a surprise. She opens it up and it's an itinerary for a flight to London. But she says it wasn't actually tickets, it was just like an itinerary. So like, I'm guessing it just a picture of flights they can get. I don't know. And they were set for July. Like Oprah, Legion was like, yeah, baby, I'm taking you to London. I wanted to take you on your birthday, but that's okay. It's never too late. And we got hotel reservations at the Savoy. Risa was like, oh my God, what is the Savoy? She started looking it up. And this place is just bougie as hell. As I'm making this video, I'm even looking it up like, what is the Savoy? This is crazy. Dang, oh my, yeah, this far, y'all. Risa gets super excited. She starts screaming, I love you, baby, oh my God. Start hugging him and kissing him. She start running around like she just caught the Holy Ghost at church. She's like, now this man is speaking my language. He did research. He printed out the itinerary, printed out all the activities that we can do in London. He was like, baby, I don't really care about London, but I know you do. And I did this because I love you. I'll do anything for you. He said, okay, we just got to renew our passports and we're going to be ready to go. Next day, Risa prints out them renewal forms immediately. Needless to say, something happened. I'm not sure what that caused them not to fill it out. Now it's mid-March. They make a decision where her mom is going to come up and stay over there for about 9 days. Risa and Legion was excited because, Legion has never met her mom physically, so this is going to be great. Now, Lisa says one thing about Legion, guys. He held this energy where he's like, I don't like liars. I don't like being around them. I don't like none of that. Which I know all of us right now is making this face. But okay, Legion. He likes everything being out in the open. Risa even has his passcode, but she's never checked his phone before. So guys, this is the day that changed. Disclaimer, Risa says she will never go through a phone again. So Legion's in the shower. Risa sees his phone get a text. She sees a notification on the top. She's like, oh no, this is either gonna go far left or far right. She opens the phone and looks at the thread. Now guys, chill, it was a false alarm. It was his aunt. Which, by the way, his aunt and his ex-wife have the same name. That's why she was worried. But Risa didn't stop there. Because she noticed his Facebook Messenger had a bunch of unreads. So she opens it. And guys, this man had multiple R-rated messages with a bunch of other women. And I got a cliffhanger right there, guys. I'm sorry. But this right here is just getting crazy and crazier. What is Risa gonna do? And I heard that episode 4 gets a lot worse. I just turned almost 2 hours to 20 minutes. If y'all want episode 4, I'm gonna need y'all to blow it up in the comments. Y'all gonna have to share this because, bro, these things take 12 hours at a time. Make me believe it. Okay, guys, what do you think about this? Guys, we are becoming a problem. 1.5 mil? And Facebook kept banning us, so we made a YouTube. We kept putting in the work, and now we're getting a play button, y'all. We about to get a play button. Now, as I told you guys, I'm really a music artist. I love making music, but I make all these videos because you like them. So can you please follow the page for me? Now, outside of all this, remember, Dead Gang, it was just you, and you had a plan. You have come too far to end it right here. Did you forget all that work you just put in? I know you're discouraged, but you are close. We get one life. And on Dead and them, we ain't going out like no weak motherfucker. If they want us out the game, they gonna have to take it from us. So when this video goes off, don't forget to pop your shit, star.
I would've done anything, all you had to do was ask. And now that the damage is done, I can't imagine ever taking you back. Is it that hard to keep it a stack? Cause all of your promises looking like cap. Cause when I was calling your phone, I already knew where you at. I tried to give you a chance while you doing me dirty. I thought you'd be the last one to hurt me, till you put a knife in my back. You cannot say I didn't love you to death. Baby, I knew you was bad for my health, but I thought I was covered by reinsurance. That you would give me, it kills me to know that I would give a kidney if you got sick. Just to find out what you really had wanted on all this time you were hitting a lick. Don't try to tell me I'm misunderstanding. You know I do not like to be gaslit. This ain't the first time you ever did fraud. It's just the first time that you got caught. Man,